So to start off with, I would like to wish everybody a happy new year and a heartfelt 2022. You know, imagine that you jump out of a plane with a parachute. The first time you do it is unknown. And so you're uncertain. And your ego will have created a lot of stories about jumping out of a plane. And clearly emotions like fear and stress and anxiety and uncertainness will follow you. And then when you do it again, you begin to adapt and you begin to climatize because you're beginning to trust yourself and you're beginning to trust the process. When you jump out of the plane the third time with a parachute, you begin to glide because you're beginning to trust yourself, who you are. You are beginning no longer allowing the ego to dictate the fear, your anxiety, your concern. Your experience is taking over. But what has really happened is that you have balanced consciousness. The ego likes to create a lot of disturbance, a lot of uncertainty. So when we experience fear and anxiety and uncertainty, the ego really loves to exacerbate this. But when we really know who we are, then we basically begin to bring that noise under control within ourselves. And this is what's called stabilizing consciousness. We're not looking on the outside, we're actually focused on the inner world versus the outer world. If you look at the pandemic of the world, everyone is looking outwardly, everyone is listening. It's like the first time you've jumped out of a plane. And so the uncertainty of looking for clarity, the ego creates part of the problem, but it doesn't create the solution. So when we experience a pandemic, everyone else looks outwardly for the answers instead of knowing the certainty of whom we are within ourselves. So we've listened to the outer noises. We paid attention to the chaos, to what is happening in the world externally. And we've gradually, one could say, we've begun to desensitize ourselves from the outer world and gradually moved into the inner world and paid attention. Knowing thyself is really about understanding the virtues, the qualities of our hearts. Am I love? Not just an expression or an emotion, but is your entire being exist of love, or is your ego still creating a lot of doubt? Do you embody kindness, forgiveness, compassion, empathy? These are not emotions, these are the qualities of our heart. It is the truest nature of our soul. So very often when someone says, I'm very compassionate, and 2 minutes later their coffee isn't ready and their ego flares up, this is not compassion. Compassion is the core of who we are. Empathy. 2022 is a year where we really learn the qualities, the virtues of our soul, where we no longer need to pay attention to the outer noises of the world because we've jumped out of the plane so many times that we've now begun to trust. These noises create chaos. The governments, the organizations, the institutions, it is all external noise. At the end of the day, it is, where are we going? The truth is, we're not going anywhere. We're not doing anything. We all believe that we have things to fix, things to solve, things to complete, but the truth is that we are just consciousness. When we become present, meaning that when we enter into the presence of ourselves, in the moment, in the now, when we fully embrace the now, fully embrace the presence of who we are, the ego and the world has very little place within this uncertainty. When you jump out the plane the fourth, fifth time, your uncertainty no longer is there because you have eliminated the ego. This is the year of 2022 is to really embrace the certainty of whom we are. And the truth is that we are just love. I wish all of you a happy, merry 2022.